So thank you for attending Ecommpay's talk on increasing conversion online. So today I'm going to be taking you through a talk on how you can increase your conversions both before point of payment and most importantly at the crucial stage where your customer wants to part with their hard-earned money. So my name's Theo Kenward. I'm a business development manager at Ecommpay. What I do on a day-to-day basis is talk to merchants, help them increase their conversions through their payment strategy, talking with them about who they sell to, where they sell to, and most importantly, how to sell more. So to start, a little bit of information with regard to Ecommpay. We've been going for 7+ years now. We are a principal member of Visa and MasterCard, which means that we issue merchant accounts directly. And we also have a proprietary payment gateway, so provide every single piece of the payment solution under one partner. We're mostly a technology company. We have over half of our workforce working consistently on new payments technology and playing in the Ecommpay labs to make sure that we're at the cutting edge of payments technology. So first of all, to start, we need to really identify and define what conversion is. So conversion is essentially when you have a visitor visit your site and buy something that you're offering, your product, your service, whatever it is. Secondly is your conversion rate. The conversion rate is the number of conversions divided by the number of visitors. So for example, if you have 400 visitors on your site, only 100 of them buy. That's still a pretty good conversion rate, 25%. How can we increase this? So first of all, when your customer visits your site, you can get some great insights via your data analytics. Most of the time, you could be using something like Google Analytics. When it comes to payment, we need to think of three things. Where are your customers based? So what country? What device are the customers using? Whether it's a desktop, a mobile phone, etc. And how are they visiting? What marketing channels are working best for you? And where can you invest your marketing budget most effectively? However, for the purpose of today's presentation, of course, we're only going to be looking at the payment side. So what we need to look at primarily is you spent tens of thousands, or in some cases hundreds of thousands of pounds or euros driving your customers to your website. You spent hundreds of thousands of pounds making your website look the best it can be. Consistent branding, brand image, building that customer loyalty and the business story behind it. So 5 things that are really crucial to this process of getting your customer to buy and lowering the drop-off. First of all, I want to talk about currency. Currency is key. Your customer wants to be able to buy the currency that they know. In the UK, as we know, it's pounds. In Europe, it's euros. In Saudi Arabia, it's Saudi Real. Whatever it's going to be. Secondly, user experience. Smooth transition between the shopping experience and the checkout. I have, as I'm sure a lot of you have, experience when buying things on a website, a clunky checkout, going through too many steps, next. By the end of it, you just get really bored and you just end up shutting the window half the time. So how can we make this as smooth as possible? So one example that I love, and I'm sure you all do too, is Amazon. Amazon's checkout experience is fantastic. They've had the resources to do extensive A/B testing. So as you go through, you click buy, you've got your address saved as well, you pay with your saved payment method. It's a cinch, really easy. How can you implement that onto your website? Thirdly, and what's really important as well, is high shipping costs. If you're providing a service or a good that has high shipping costs, a lot of customers are going to be dropping off. So a really interesting study actually by the Forrester Consulting on behalf of UPS in 2010 found there was a huge, almost half of customers dropped off if they experienced a high shipping cost. So how can you implement this into the final cost? We can look at like psychological marketing, where you can, for example, include the shipping cost in the unit price and just play around with it like that. I'm not here to tell you how to sell your stuff. I'm just here to tell you what the studies are saying. Thirdly, mobile optimized websites. Loads and loads of people, especially the millennials and younger generation now, are looking at and buying stuff on their mobile phone. Your website to be mobile optimized is a massive, massive help. And then fifth, language. Whilst it's important, yes, I look at it from a payments perspective as looking at it last. Why? Because these technologies are so entrenched nowadays into modern technology that if I go onto a website with a foreign language, I'm not going to necessarily look for that language on a drop-down menu. I'll just right-click, translate to English on Google Chrome. So, we've got a product. We're now moving to the checkout and payment stage. How can we increase conversion using payments technology? So, I work for a payments company. We don't look at our clients as clients, we look at our clients as partners. And I would really encourage you all to look at your payments company as a partner as well, particularly in regards to longevity and making sure that they're scalable in order to offer you the tools that are needed to grow in your domestic market as well as going across border. So there's 5 core things that I've identified that you need to ask your payments partner to provide to you. 1 is a fully customizable payment page. Second is the best user experience within that payment page environment itself to build brand trust and consistency at payment. Localized payment methods as well to your cross-border customers will ensure that they have the payment method that they know and trust so they depart with their hard-earned money. 4th is a balanced approach between security and technology to maximize your conversions at acceptance. One thing that we may all be familiar with is a technology called 3D Secure. It's when you put your card information in, a little window pops up saying verified by Visa or MasterCard secure code. Sometimes it will ask you to do a 2-step verification, like enter in a text of a code that you get from your mobile phone into the payment page. That's fine. On the back end of that, payment companies provide security parameters as well that you can set and customize by working with your account manager at a payments company. And this is to do with things like IP blocking, card velocity checking, maximum amount of funds allowed on 1 transaction or 2 transactions, etc. If it's too secure, people can get annoyed at this, particularly if it's with regards to repeat transactions on one experience of the website. If you have that blocked and a customer is only able to, for example, do 5 transactions and they're not allowed to do it on the 6th, you're missing out on revenue. So it's really important to find a really good balance in order to provide the amount of security that's needed whilst increasing your conversions. Finally, it's getting an understanding exactly what happens in the background from a financial perspective. So acquirers are essentially banks. We're financial institutions as well as technology companies. You've got the merchant account, and you also have the payment gateway. They're hand in hand, and it's really important to understand the technology that goes on behind the scenes in order to help you increase your conversions. So, first thing to look at in a little deeper is the payment page. You need to be able to adapt your payment page to increase customer conversion. Just make it mobile friendly. If your payments partner doesn't provide you with an integration that's both desktop and mobile device friendly, then they're falling behind the curve, quite frankly, and it's time to have a look at somebody else. The benefits to this are, of course, you've got, again, the increased consistency with regards to branding and customer trust. What you can also do is have things such as having it the same logo color. These little things make all the difference from a psychological perspective. I can use the example of if you've got a purple and orange website brand and it goes through and you have a grey payment page, a lot of people will think, hang on, what's going on here? Am I on the same environment? Is this the same website experience that I have? So you want to have it matching the design of your own website. You can also have the ability to conduct A/B testing, just like how I used Amazon as an example earlier. Being able to change little things like the color, the size of the field, also limiting, for example, the CVV number. Most credit cards have a three-digit CVV number. If you have a payment page that has a 4-digit CVV number and somebody clicks spacebar, for example, they're gone. Again, really important to do with localized payment methods. When a customer goes onto their website, your website can and does have the ability to be able to see where your customer's coming from, be it via IP recognition, for example. From that, and additionally currency driven, your payments provider should provide you a payment page that auto-populates the payment method that that customer, wherever they're from, is used to using. So this is the most crucial slide, in my opinion, on increasing your conversions, and something that I really hope that you take home with you today. You can maximize your conversion by offering the relevant payment methods depending on customer location. Just a couple of examples. In the Netherlands, the Dutch use something called Ideal. It's a push bank transfer. Over 57% of all of the online transactions that the Dutch do are Ideal. So if you are going into the European markets and you want to go across border and you're not offering the payment method that they want, they need, and they trust, they're gone. And they're going to go to a competitor and they're going to buy that white t-shirt, pair of socks, whatever it is, from a local provider, and you've missed out on a sale. So this is absolutely integral. Other examples are GiroPay in Germany. Half the population, 40 million users, have access to GiroPay, which is a popular banking method. If you want to target China, Alipay, 870 million users, you need this. Again, dependent on the industry type that you operate in, you have different payment methods available to your customer. This could be to do with e-wallets, it could be cards as we're all used to in the UK, prepaid cards, mobile payment systems, Apple Pay, Google Pay, you name it, it should be there available for your customer at point of payment. Security, and I'm going to rush through this one because it's not very interesting, but it is integral that you know what your payment provider should be providing to you and your customer. One thing is, are they PCI compliant? This is a bit of regulation, which essentially means that all of the security parameters to do with sensitive credit card information are protected. There's no chance of a hacker who, if he manages to hack your local site environment, can then get hold of that card's data. If they do, then we're in trouble as a payment provider, you're in trouble as a merchant, and fines can be levied. So it's super important. If you have a customer who's a repeat customer and they want to visit your site again to purchase something in the future, you can have something called tokenization. This is essentially getting your payment provider to scramble the information of the card. When the customer revisits the site, when they want to put their card information back in, they start typing their card number, auto-populates. That's brought through from the secure server on the payment provider side, pops up in the payment window, the customer just clicks OK, and payment's made. Really important conversion. Lastly, protection against DDoS attacks. So that's a denial of service attack when a hacker will spam several thousand connection attempts at a second to either a payments provider or to a merchant's website. This should be protected. And one example of that is a payment provider having several data centers, so if one falls, they can then have redundancy in another. So, technologies as well. Your payment partner should be able to combine all of their utilities and capabilities into one solution. We're talking about one integration, one login to one dashboard, ability to, as a merchant, view all of the payment methods that you want to have, switch them on at a flick of a switch in the back office, as well as reconciliation. So a lot of the time, in my experience, working with merchants who have, for example, offered cards and PayPal, these have been into two different integrations, which has meant that their accounting team has had to pull off two reports for the month, one for cards and one for PayPal, and it's just a pain to reconcile. So what you should be asking for from your payment provider is to provide one report where they can get all of their financial information on one report in one area, as well as having metrics so you can benchmark how well you're doing in each different territory in terms of your conversion performance. Apart from that, you need to have a human at the end of a phone. This is so important. Some payment providers may just offer an FAQ, and if you've got a really specific question, how are you going to get any help? You need to speak to experts. And this brings us on to the next slide as well. Collaborating with your payments partner that consult you on your best practices is key if you want to be successful online. Additionally, you want to make sure that you're working with a payment provider that doesn't just work with one industry. They want to have a wide breadth of experience, so they're able to cater to all sorts of industries and have the tools available for you to grow and you to succeed. Because ultimately, as payment providers, your success is our success. So thank you for attending. I'm very happy to answer any questions you may have now, or if you'd like to later, please visit us at G10. We are the Ecommpay booth with all the blue and white. If anyone's got any questions, I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you.